Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is our Road to Glory series where we take $10 and turn it into $10,000 on Price Picks. We're going to be focusing on our recap for day number one, and then we're going to be briefly jumping into our day number two slip. So starting off with Matt Prater, we had him for 7 kicking points. So he had absolutely no field goal attempts in this game. So obviously he's not going to make any if he's not attempting any. He did, however, get 2 extra point attempts, so that put him on the board. It still didn't, nowhere close to clearing this line. I was hoping, later in the game that they're going to start, just getting desperate to put points on the board and start, kicking the ball, but that didn't happen. So we landed at 2 points out of the 7. All right, so Jaden Daniels for 219 and a half pass yards. So again, another one that we completely fell short on. So he went 19 for 26 in this game. A couple times where he threw it kind of way off target. Well, not crazy way off target, but like making it very difficult for the receiver to catch. But still, overall, pretty close. The potential was there. The read was there. He should have cleared the line, but just a terrible performance on his part. Um, Next up, Bijan Robinson. So this one was pretty sweat free. We took him for 110 and a half pass and receiving yards. Rush and receiving yards, 110 and a half. So he rushed for 170 yards. And then he also had 6 passes for 68 yards. So in total, he had 238 yards. So he well exceeded our 110 and a half line. Pretty wide margin. So that one was pretty sweat free. Then finally, DeAndre Swift for 48 and a half rushing yards. Another one that was pretty sweat free. So he rushed for 108 yards with 14 carries. So and he also had a receiving touchdown for 55 yards. So he just had an overall great game. So 2 out of the 4. It didn't get us our money back, but we start fresh with another $10 on another slip. All right, guys. Before we get into today's slip, I just wanted to kind of mention that I'm doing this challenge for fun. I'm not a professional analyst or anything. I use the website called Pick Finder to help me find some lines with some good probabilities of hitting. However, this isn't me spending hours of research. This is just me kind of glancing at the website, kind of shopping around a little bit, and then kind of jumping into those games. Right now, I do have time to be watching these games. This is for my entertainment. I bet on a player, then I watch the games if I can. Since I am dealing with a Achilles tendon injury, so I'm currently not working. I'm not doing anything. I'm just chilling at home. This is a way for me to find some sort of entertainment with something that I was already doing. I was already submitting bets using Price Picks. I've been using Price Picks for over a year now. Made about 24K in total wins. So obviously, with that, there's gonna be days where I make hundreds of dollars, and then there's gonna be weeks where I lose hundreds of dollars. So this is all for my entertainment, your entertainment. This is kind of documenting a journey. See if I could even make the $10,000 from $10. So just keep that in mind. So we're gonna be jumping into what I'm gonna be running. I'm gonna be running a 3-man power. Um, I know a lot of people don't like to do power plays. However, this is, again, a challenge for me. I could easily be running a bunch of goblins and stuff like that on a 6-man, 4-man, flex. However, I want some sweat to it. I want to be able to kind of watch the games and kind of feel that pressure of seeing these lines hit. So don't feel like you have to tell this. Obviously, do your own research if you're going to be submitting any sort of plays, and gamble responsibly, because we've all been there where we run through our bankroll in a day or two, and then we're kind of screwed, and then that pressure starts building up to deposit more money. just be mindful of your bankroll. But with that, we're going to jump into our first pick. All right, so for our first line, we're going to be picking Cal Raleigh to hit over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. So this one has some pretty good data backing it up. He's hit this line 70% out of his last 10 games. He's only missed 3 games, and in those games, he's still got at least one stat point on there. All he needs is 2. So realistically, if he gets 1 hit and then he bats in another player, that's already his 2 points. Or even if he gets 2 hits, we're good to go there. So this is looking like, it's very reasonable. It's not like a very outlandish line where he has to be on top of his game. This is very achievable. So we're gonna go ahead and take him as our first prop. All right, second we have George Kirby for over 1.5 earned runs allowed. So again, looking at the last 10 games, he's hit this 70% of the time. More importantly, if we look at his head-to-head, he's allowed 5 in the first game, 3 in the second game. So this is looking pretty good for us. Again, we're not going to spend too much time overthinking or doing a crazy deep dive. So we're going to add George Kirby to our lineup over 1.5 earned runs allowed. All right, and then finally, our last leg is going to be Anton Lundell to hit over 0.5 points. So essentially, we're just hoping that he gets either a goal or an assist for this game. So looking at his last 10, he's hit this 80% of the time. Even though we're only 4 games into the season, if we look into his last 5, this season he's already hit it 3 times. So this is looking pretty good for us if he continues on his streak. His team is projected to win, so the potential is definitely there. So again, not looking crazy deep into it, we're gonna go ahead and throw him on our last leg. So coming up, all right, guys. So there it is, our 3-man power play for $10 for a potential payout of $60. We have Cal Raleigh to hit over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Anton Lundell to get over 1 point essentially, and then George Kirby to allow at least 2 runs. So again, that wraps up our day number 2 entry for the Road to Glory series. We had a big L in day number 1, but we're hoping this is a bounce back day. Today we switched up the strategy a little bit. Instead of going for a 4-man flex, we are going to do a 3-man power. It's going to be the same payout as the 4-man flex, so potentially $60. And again, if this hits, we're going to go ahead and put in those $60 on the next play. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe, leave a comment if you have any comments on my picks, my strategy, or any recommendations you may have. Let me know what you're playing. Let me know what you're running or what kind of sports you're into. Maybe I'll incorporate those into my slip, and we'll go from there. Hopefully you guys have a good day, and let's get some wins.